proposal now for a one nation, one election bill in the special session of the parliament. There have been reactions from political parties even in the past. The TMC and the JDU have already expressed that it will be Modi's move or BJP's move to hold Lok Sabha elections earlier than 2024. This was predicted. I'm going to cut across to those reactions in the past.
चुनाव तो कभी भी हो सकता है, ये कोई जरूरी है कि समय पर करावे। ये तो केंद्र वाले पहले भी करा सकते हैं।
कुछ संभावना है क्या सर? कुछ संभावना आपको लग रही है?
हम तो शुरू से न बोल रहे हैं, आपको बोलिए। हम तो आपको 7-8 महीना पहले से न कह रहे हैं कि लोग पहले भी करा सकते हैं, इसलिए सबको एकजुट होना चाहिए, तो उसी में हम लगे हुए हैं।
আমার তো এখন সন্দেহ হচ্ছে এরা ডিসেম্বরেই না পার্লামেন্ট ইলেকশন করে দেয়, জানুয়ারিতেও করে দিতে পারে, এদের কোনো বিশ্বাস নেই।
All right, the apprehensions were very clear by the opposition parties, including the JDU and TMC, who said even in the past that they predict the Modi government to come up with a one nation, one election bill very soon. I have Preeti with me joining here on the election coverage that she's done so far. Preeti, we know that India is such a dynamic country and it's so diverse when it comes to elections. That's the real true testimony of how diverse the country is. To have it at one time, at one go, yes, it would save cost and energy, but what about the flavor of diversity in the country?
Well, you know, there are lots of arguments which are both pros and cons, but you know, Nabila, let's go back. 9 summers ago, you had the Prime Minister who actually mooted the idea of one nation, one election. We do know it's something very close to the Prime Minister's heart.
Yeah.
In terms of putting it down and making it happen, the probability of it looked too complex. But right now, this bill is introduced, even though, yes, they will need 2/3 majority, which they don't have right now, to get a constitutional amendment in place. But having said that, what could be the pros and cons of a possible early Lok Sabha election? You know, the Prime Minister would be shining off his G20 moment.
I was just wondering, how is it really going to benefit the BJP, as the opposition might say?
Well, you know, at this point of time, the opposition really doesn't have its act together. What else do we know of India other than the name of India? Are they any which way closer to seat-sharing arrangements? No, they have no urgency. So the entire India alliance coming together right now is in complete disarray. So yes, it will suit the government very well to hold early elections because your opposition, which is now technically together, still doesn't have its act together.
Yeah.
Number two, it's going to be, you know, you have Prime Minister Modi shining off under the G20 moment. It's a good place to be in terms of to call early election. Also, what would be interesting is, will the government call for early elections when their big ticket moment, which is going to be the Ram Mandir moment in January, or, you know, the inauguration of it, will the Prime Minister Modi actually go ahead and prepone elections and not do it after the Ram Mandir opening, because that's their big ticket moment? That's the big question. And also something which the Prime Minister has said a lot, you know, that they've been given a certain time to be in power. Will he let go of, you know, even one day in power and prepone elections? It's a different concept. But, you know, there's even indication right now because, you know, there's so much kite flying. Because this is all source-based information, which is coming to the fore, Nabila, that the 5 state elections, which we are expecting in December, could very well, if this bill goes through, be postponed to the general election time, and we look at a one nation, one election.
Precisely the buzz that we hear now is that the 5 state elections might be pushed to May.
No, we don't know any of that
This is the buzz, like I said, it's a speculation. It might be pushed to May all at once. The 5 states that are going to elections include Rajasthan, Telangana, Mizoram, Chhattisgarh, and Madhya Pradesh. Yeah, you have the 5 state elections that are all lined up late this year till early next year. It likely could be pushed all at once in May. But what are the challenges when you try and club elections together at once? It will cut cost, but the big challenge, or why do you think that the opposition parties might not be very happy with something like this?
Well, you know, they've always been
but I'm speaking of state level, I'm talking about assembly elections. Yes, Lok Sabha, the opposition, united opposition isn't prepared, but locally, if they have their clout, then that will remain. What will change?
You know, that will remain. What will change? Other than that, you know, the biggest, I would reckon, you know, yes, it will save costs. And, you know, India is always considered to be a country which is always in election mode, because every other month we are going to elections in a, you know, particular state in the country. So it will cut down not just cost, but labor. It will cut down in terms of the effort that you actually put in hugely. But on the other hand, the flip flip side of that, Nabila, is also will it somewhere down the line, not be the true test of democracy? The sheer fact that we've had so many elections as they've happened. So that all aside, but will it happen? Right now, I would reckon a lot of it is political fear-mongering and the sheer fact that through our sources, we've been given to understand that a bill could be introduced in the special joint session of the Parliament called from the 18th to the 22nd of September, has, somewhere down the line, heightened the fear of the opposition. The opposition says till now that they are ready to go into election any time. But are they really prepared? Not. How much of this is rhetoric? How much of this is a possibility? We don't quite know. A lot of it given to source-based information, or rather red herring, fear-mongering on what we are expecting.